Sid Hatfield was born May 15, 1893 in Blackberry, Kentucky, right across from Matewan, West Virginia. He grew up in poverty, one of Jacob and Rebecca Hatfield's 9 surviving, of 12, children. A minor in his teens, he then became a blacksmith. He was nicknamed Smilin' Sid because of his distinctive grin, showing gold-capped teeth. Despite his boyish appearance, he had a tough reputation. However, in 1919, when the mining community of Matewan came under threat from the Baldwin-Felts Agency, the mayor, Cabell Testerman, appointed him police chief. Sid was an effective lawman, keeping order in the rowdy mining town and standing up to the coal companies and the Baldwin-Felts agents as the miners fought for their right to organize. The Baldwin-Felts Agency offered him substantial bribes if he would permit them to station machine guns in the town. He refused. On May 19, 1920, he and Testerman resisted the Baldwin-Felts agents' forcible evictions of unionized miners. In the gun battle, known as the Battle of Matewan, 7 of the 13 Baldwin-Felts men were killed, included Albert and Lee Felts, brothers of the agency's head. 2 miners were killed, and Mayor Testerman was mortally wounded, apparently by Albert Felts. Several more men, on both sides, were wounded. Sid married Testerman's widow, Jessie, only a couple of weeks after her first husband's death. Tom Felts, and, later, the agency's spy Charles Everett Lively, claimed that this proved that he, not Albert Felts, had shot her husband in order to marry her. However, they had been friends for a long time. According to Jessie, the mayor had asked Sid to look after her and their young son if anything were to befall him, given the dangers they knew they faced. The trial over the Matewan gunfight took place in spring 1921, with the acquittal of Hatfield and the miners. Hatfield was filmed, playing himself, in Smilin' Sid, 1920, a short film reenactment of the battle made by and for the United Mine Workers of America, and became a local celebrity, the miners' hero. But he knew himself to be a marked man. As the struggle continued, the new local authorities in Matewan were less supportive of the Union. Martial law was declared in the summer of 1921. Hatfield lost his post as chief of police in Matewan, but was elected constable for Magnolia District. He was unarmed and accompanied by Jessie when he arrived in Welch on August 1, 1921 for trial for his alleged involvement in other mining-related disturbances. His friend and deputy Edward Chambers, and his wife, Sally, were with them, too, as Ed was also charged. As they began to climb the steps to the courthouse, the 2 young men were gunned down by Baldwin-Felts agents, including Charlie Lively. Sid Hatfield died almost instantly from 3 or 4 chest wounds. Lively finished off Chambers with a shot in the head. Although the killers were charged, none was ever convicted of the murders. For the second time in 14 months, Jessie was a widow. Sid Hatfield and Ed Chambers were buried as heroes. Outrage at their murder fueled the miners' uprising, culminating in the Battle of Blair Mountain.
Here's Sid Hatfield's grave. This memorial is dedicated to the memory of Sid Hatfield by the United Mine Workers of America and the following local unions. So, of course, there is a rumor that Sid Hatfield was actually the one that killed his best friend so that he could marry his wife. But we will never know, will we? But either way, they're buried right next to each other. for as long as this cemetery stands anyways. Defender of the rights of working people, gunned down by Phelps detectives on the steps of the McDowell County Courthouse in Welch, West Virginia during the Great Mine Wars. We will never forget. His murder triggered the miners' rebellion at the Battle of Blair Mountain. So if anyone hasn't seen the video we did on Sid Hatfield, I'll leave the link in descriptions. It's one of the first videos we did. I'll touch base on him a little bit. He was the sheriff in Matewan, West Virginia, a few minutes from here. And he was involved in the Matewan massacre that happened there that killed a lot of people, including his best friend, who's the mayor, who's buried right next to him, Mayor Testerman. Sid was also young, 1893 to 1921. So a year after the Matewan massacre, Sid was going to court with his wife, and he was killed on the courthouse steps. A year later, his wife was originally married to Mayor Testerman, his best friend. He then married her, and a year later, she lost him too. So the guy that was gunned down with Sid Hatfield was Ed Chambers. Ed Chambers was also there to go to court. And he was murdered as well. He's buried just stone's throw from Sid. Also a young man, 1899, 1921. Ed Chambers says God defends the right. Killed at Welch, West Virginia in McDowell County by the Phelps detectives. Something about this tombstone is so reflective. It's hard to get a good picture of it. So this is a cemetery where Sid Hatfield, Mayor Testerman, and Ed Chambers resides, along with many, 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 many more people. It sits on top of a hill, nestled in the Appalachian Mountains in, well, right outside Matewan, West Virginia, over the Kentucky line. I hope you enjoyed our little trip today, and we will see you next time. Please subscribe. Keeps us going.